Bienvenidos, Ushamdeed, and welcome to another Cisco Networking Academy NetAcad Introduction to Python course supplemental video tutorial. In this video tutorial, we're going to again be taking a look at Lab 4.1.6.3, which we're breaking down into a series of smaller, more manageable chunks, each video being one of the functions in what ultimately will be a game of tic-tac-toe. So I'm calling this part 3, where we're going to create a list of free spaces. And so you might be surprised that we've actually already created the code that's going to go through and look or inspect each of the current squares that exist in the game to determine whether a square is free. In other words, if it still has a number, or I should say the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the square, or is it already occupied? And if it's occupied with an X or an O, then we're just going to go ahead and skip that square. And then if it's not just an X or an O, we're going to append that square, and we're going to append it to a list that we're going to actually instantiate each time we jump into this function right here. So make list of free fields, right? You can see after that, we've only got 2 more functions to go. And so the function browses the board and builds a list of all the free squares. The list consists of tuples. Now remember, the tuple is an immutable data type. It cannot be changed in place. And so what are our tuples going to consist of? Well, each tuple is a pair of row and column numbers. So we're going to instantiate a new list. We're going to do this inside the function. I'm going to explain why in just a second. But for the row and column, my reading of this activity and this challenge is that if we pull up the integrated development learning environment, and again, we're picking right up where we left off. If we look up here, my interpretation of what they're saying when they say row column based off the instructions is that square 1 is 0, 0, square 2 is 0, 1, square 3 is 0, 2, 4, 1, 0, the center square 5, which is always taken, is going to be 1, 1, and it's always taken by the computer. So there should always be an uppercase X in there. And so then, you can take a look at this and sort the rest out. But these are the values that are going to be in the tuple for us. Now, you'll notice up here, I instantiated board in the global namespace. I didn't do it in a function. And the reason for that is that, let's say in the function, if I was to basically just, say board equal open bracket, close bracket, I could accidentally wipe out the contents of the board. Now, I could accidentally wipe the contents out anyway, but since we're calling the function to make a list of the free fields, and my approach to resolving or solving this problem is going to be to create the list, and then it makes sense to append to the list each row column tuple that we come upon that's a free square. And so let's talk this through. So the first thing I'm going to do, and again, it says free squares, so let's just create a list and we'll call it free squares, right? So I'm going to instantiate it here, which means every time this function gets called, the value for free underscore squares is going to be an empty list. And that's what we want. We don't want the list to grow, right? I don't want it declared globally so that every time I'm making changes to it in the function that it keeps appending and appending and appending and appending. Because remember, every time either the user makes a move or selects a square, or the computer automagically randomly selects one of the available squares, then the list of free squares and those tuples with the row column values, those are going to change. And so let's dive right in here we instantiate this free underscore squares list. That's going to be the list that holds all of our values. Now, remember, I also told you that we already have the code to go through and iterate over each of the squares in the list, in the board list. And so here's how we do it, right? We do this nested for loop. And so this is going to come in very handy. So when I say for row in range 0, 3, remembering left-hand side inclusive in those numbers in the range function, and then after the comma, the right-hand side number there, 3, is exclusive. So my range here is literally 0, 1, and 2. But that is what we want. And then we're going to say for column in range 0, 3. So again, the nested for loop is going to go to, I'll scoot up here, 0, 0, and then 0, 1, and then 0, 2. And then it goes back to the first for statement, and then we go to 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, and then 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2. And that is what this nested for loop structure, I loosely call it an algorithm here, is going to allow us to do. And so now the rest should be pretty straightforward, right? So if I'm going square by square, and if I'm looking to see if the board row column that I am looking at, right, which would be 0, 0, and then 0, 1, and then 0, 2, and then 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2. So if that board row column, in other words, if that square is either a capital X, or if that square row, CLUMN, column, is a capital O, then I'm just going to skip it. And I'm just going to type pass there, right? So you can see I'm just going to pass on that square. Because if there's an X or there's an O, that square is taken. And here's where the if else comes in handy. Because if the square's taken, I'm just simply going to pass and go back up to the next iteration. But if it's not taken, otherwise, right, the else statement that we have here, what would we like to do with this? Well, I'm going to say free underscore squares, and and we're going to say append. Now, remember, we're appending, right? So this is what it would look like if I'm appending something, and I would put what I'm going to append in here inside the parentheses. But remember, I'm appending a tuple. And what is that tuple? Well, it's the row, and we'll do comma and then COLUMN, row, column, and then we need one more. There we go. I think that's it. I'm just taking a look to make sure I've got syntactically I'm good. And so that's what I'm adding in here. I'm going to append to the list free underscore squares all of the squares based on the row column values for that square. I'm appending that tuple to the free underscore squares list, right? Now, I want to print, but I don't want to print here because then it's going to, because I'm going to print free squares. And I wouldn't print it here. In fact, let me show you what happens if I print here, and this becomes important. If I say, okay, print free squares, remember, it's going to print that list every single time I have a free square. And that's not what we want. We want it to be printed a single time. But let's check the code because we've typed in quite a few things here. And we need to make sure that we get down here an invocation, a call list of free fields, and pass in the board. All right, let's hit F5 and let's see what happens here. All right, so I'm going to pick square number 9, which means we should see after 9 is picked, the list of free fields should be 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 1, 0. You should not see 1, 1, and then 1, 2, and then we should see 2, 0, and 2, 1, but not 2, 2. Because as soon as I say 9, 2, 2 is no longer free. And we're going to have a mess here, right? Because look what happens. We ultimately get the right answer, but it's printing out that list for every iteration in that for loop where we don't have a square that's already taken, where we have a free square. Now, if you take a look down here, that is the final answer. 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, because nothing in the first row is gone. 1, 0, there is no 1, 1, because that's where the X is at. And then we have 2, 0, 2, 1, but no 2, 2, because that is where the O is at. Now, let's sort this out here, and I'm going to back this guy out, and we're going to put it all the way so that when the for loop is done, then we print that value. And I'm going to hit enter here, and let's change it up. I'm going to pick square number 3. So we should not see 0, 2, and 1, 1 in the final list. So no 0, 2, no 1, 1, but all other squares as tuples via row column values are there. They're printed out, and everything looks absolutely fantastic. And so for the make list of free fields, that is my solution. That's what I came up with. That's what I've got. All right. As always, thank you so much for watching. I wish you the best of luck in your studies, and I hope to see you in part 4. We're almost done here with Tic-Tac-Toe in that next video. All right. Thanks for watching. See you soon.